When I was in college, I went all the way through and got my master's degree. That means 6 straight years in higher education. And I ended up at 3 different colleges, but didn't lose any credits. I did, however, lose a lot of deposits. I lived in 8 different places all throughout college. Wide variety of reasons, primarily because wasn't a good tenant in many cases. And the crew I ran with, good guys, not always the most studious, needed to move around quite a bit. Case in point, I remember one time I had 3 good friends of mine, and we wanted to live in a house this time. No apartments, duplex, fraternity house, a house. Left it up to me to find the place. Little did they know, I was also trying to find the place closest to my girlfriend, now wife at the time, to where she lived, and she lived just a little out of the college town where we were. So I found a halfway point in a residential neighborhood. That landlord, as I talked to her, seemed a little, a little concerned, but I talked her into it and said we were good guys and we'd take care of everything. And sort of, we did. However, one day I remember sitting in the house studying and I heard whap, whap, whap. Man, what are you doing up there? Nothing. I go outside and take a look. On the roof's one of my roommates. And say, hey man, you're not putting nails in the roof, are you? No. I look, and he and a couple of other guys decided it was time to decorate for Christmas. So on the roof, they put Christmas lights in the shape of a football field. And they put a Santa dead center in a swimming pool lounge chair with a natural light taped to his hand with a Titans logo on the side. This, folks, was in November. It was a little early, but they were excited and wanted to, fit in with the neighborhood, which this really didn't fit in. And, a lot of other things we didn't fit in, whether it was not mowing the yard, not picking up after ourselves, or having, you know, shindigs, as we would call them, all hours of the night, not just on the weekends, but through the week. So when I talked to the landlord, she used a term back then that I'd never heard before. She wanted to know if this would be a good fit. Fit, what does that mean? Well, now as an adult, I am fully aware of what a good fit is or is not, and I have used this term many times for other people. For example, recently I took on a client, let's say recently, last year, that I knew might not be a good fit, but he sure did want me to make a lot of explainer videos for him. And as you guys may or may not know, I'm a full-time business coach, but I also have my own business creating explainer videos. Well, as we talked, I realized, this guy doesn't really like it when other people finish sentences. He had unrealistic views of what a single video might do for his business. And anytime he had a passing thought, he demanded a phone call. But I figured I could make it work, and I took him on anyways and decided that I'd find a way. Dig deep, entrepreneurial spirit and whatnot. Bad decision. Fast forward about halfway through the project, he goes, radio silent on me. Don't hear from him anymore. Then finally he comes back to me a few months later, demanding to know why I didn't finish the work. Angry, no longer wants any more videos. Wants a refund, which I kind of could have seen coming. So worked it out, figured out a way to make both sides happy, or at least unhappy, and vowed I'm not taking on any more of these clients. It's the same thing I advise as a business coach. I don't always take my own advice. So for you, what does that mean? Have you ever taken on a client that wasn't a fit for your product or service? And I don't mean just slightly outside the demographics. I mean, gives you that same gut feeling that as soon as you talk to them, this might not work. Or even they become that way shortly after you start on whatever your product or your service is with them. Another example, employees or contractors. Right now, more than ever, people are taking on employees just because, well, they're there. So many times we don't have employees, and you're willing just to take on a warm body and figure it out. But little by little, you start realizing it's not worth taking on the wrong fit to put into your organization to mismatch your culture. And you can probably think of one you may or may not have right now. Shoot, even taking on a project that doesn't fit with what you specifically do. So for me, I do business coaching, but if somebody wanted me to come in and do, create a marketing brand from top to bottom for them, I could do it, but it might not be a good fit. And for you, it's the same thing. It might be an opportunity, but it won't match what you need to be doing, and it doesn't, fill in that gap of where you provide the best value. I mean, gosh, you think about even in sports, we see this all the time. Terrell Owens made a habit of being one of the best wide receivers of all time and then burning through multiple NFL teams, not fitting in because he had to have everything his way and be the center of attention and just a hard guy to work with. I see this in youth sports now. I've got kids in a variety of different activities, and a few times it's been great, and a few times we might have, as an assistant coach, let on a kid or two that we knew might not be a good fit because they had a little bit of TO in them at a very young age, and it burned right through the team. This is something you got to think about each and every time you start a new client, new employee, new contractor, new project. Bad revenue, bad fits kill revenue. They lower morale. They make your life and the people around you unhappy. Fast forward, we got through November, we got through December, and now it's Valentine's Day. I got a call from my landlord, and it was not a happy call, and she used words I won't use here. What are you so upset over? Your Christmas lights. Yeah, it's Valentine's Day. Your Christmas lights are still up. Oh, they are up. And every time we flipped on the front porch lights, which we did every day, we had it rigged, the whole thing lit up. She was not happy. The neighborhood was not happy. We were not a good fit, and we did not get our deposit back on that property.